Hi, and welcome to Business on the Vine. I'm your host, Lady Jen Du Plessis, and today with me is Francisca Alonso, a dear friend. You know, we've been friends for over 20 years.
Yes, we have.
That's how long we've known each other. And, you know, we have these years where we're together and then we're not, and we're doing our things, but I am just so delighted to have you here with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jen,
Yeah.
for having me here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you. We are here at beautiful Barrel Oak Winery in Marshall, Virginia, and I'm drinking the Cab Franc, which I absolutely love, and you're drinking today the Sauvignon Blanc. How is it so far?
Delicious.
Delicious, yeah.
Yes.
That's part of what we do with Business on the Vine. We think, hey, we're here, we might as well drink some wine, and
Why-
maybe we'll come up with really good ideas once we drink enough of the wine. Right?
Why not?
Right? That's exactly it.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that I want to talk to you about is, you know, I'm so impressed at the caliber of your business, woman-owned business. Your husband works with you, which I love. You know,
Yes.
that's what we do in our business too. And you know how you've taken this business. Gosh, I've just watched this for 20 years. You know, I remember when we met at BNI.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
if you don't know what BNI is, it's Business Network International. We were both in I don't even think we were in the same BNI. We met at a different BNI. We were
Yes.
just drawn
Cross chapter.
cross chapter visits and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, and I was just drawn to working with you. You know, and you know, I just have watched you grow from this. It wasn't a small company. But I remember you were in Great Falls and you were just that little office upstairs, and
Yes.
you know, and you had your little office and you were just, you know, designing homes and doing some renovations. And now tell everybody what you're doing now, the full scope of what you're doing these days.
Yes. So as you mentioned, when we started in 2001, we were doing remodelings, additions in kitchens and bathrooms, decks. In fact, my first project was a deck for my neighbor.
Right, I remember it.
Yes.
Story, yeah.
And then we started growing and developing, and then started building some spec houses. And now we design and build custom homes that help people live like their own vacation.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, several years ago you had, well, I want to know where this stemmed from. You took a little bit of a turn in your business. You still had the same line of work, and you know, as business owners, this is something that we need to always be doing is, you know, creating additional revenue streams, right, for ourselves. And so I remember you taking this little jaunt, and when you came out with this book, and I have this book in my house. I love this book about empty nesters. What was the what pushed that? What was the thing that pushed that into, hey, I need to help empty nesters too?
Yes. So as I was, becoming an empty nester, and I also, a lot of my friends and a lot of people I knew, I started realizing that so many people want to stay here in Virginia, but they don't want to live in the same family style home that they raise their kids in. They want something different. And so there is nothing being built like that.
No.
And so your options are, go to a retirement home or move out of the area, or, go into a 4-level townhouse. So those are the options. So why aren't there homes for empty nesters that are not the typical, very large home with all these rooms that we're not going to need, but more main level living, more intentional design, and also design that makes you feel like you're in a retreat. Yeah, because that's what we should feel like when we're, in the retirement.
Right. Well, I also know that when you do the renovations, and so a lot of times, and so correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of times what you're doing is you're going into the home they already have, or you're finding another, right? They find another, but renovating that so that it is ready for them if there were wheelchairs, ready for them so there's no falling. I remember you telling me, in fact, the first time I ever saw it, and I see advertisements for replacement bathrooms and stuff, and they're always stepping up, right, and over. And I remember when you said, we're coming out with a shower that is flat.
Curbless.
Absolutely curbless, right? There's no even a little bitty step, right? It's completely curbless. And it was such a new thought back then, so that a lot of people could just retire in their home, right? Continue to live in their home.
Right. So the whole idea is that now that you're an empty nester, what the house that you move in, build new, should basically be your forever home.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that our clients are doing is they're building homes that have all the bells and whistles for them.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's all on one level. So no basement, and the upstairs is only there for the adult kids when they visit or friends when they come over.
Right. And then teach them away. Get out of my hair.
Exactly. But the main floor is where everything is at.
Yeah.
And so from kitchen to eating to the primary suite, the study, the office, the library, and then almost double the amount of square footage in outdoor space.
Oh, wow.
So covered porch in front of the kitchen area, covered outdoor sitting area, outdoor kitchen. Then you'll have maybe a pool house, so that whole indoor-outdoor flow. But one thing that we've actually seen a huge trend on is creating a wellness room.
Oh.
So, you used to be like, you had a gym somewhere in the basement and no window, no air, no oxygen, but that's your gym, right?
Yeah.
Now we do gyms on the main floor, right off the primary, with the cold plunge, with the sauna, with the hot tub, everything for you, for your next stage in life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a spa feel. Like,
yes.
And I know that you use very, very high-end materials. It's everything's just beautiful. I mean, you have a high-end company. No matter how you look at it, that's how it is. I love that you're doing this for empty nesters, because the baby boomer generation that both you and I are part of, it's like, oh, here we come, we're coming. And we're spoiled, right? We don't want it the same way that we used to have it. So I want to move into, and I'm going to ask you this question before we head into break, and so you can think about the answer when we get back, right? Is you have built a really strong, sustainable business that has been around for a really long time. And I know that our listeners and those that are watching are saying, how did you do this? Give me the secret. What's the formula to put together? And so when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about how you put this beautiful business together and how it's been able to last as long as it has. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to Business on the Vine. I'm sitting here with Francisca. I am so excited to learn your secrets. And I hope that you're willing to share them with 350 million people who watch our streaming show.
Yes.
So, when you first started, was it just you? Or did you already have other people in? How'd you start?
No, it was just me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my husband and life partner. He had his full-time job, and I was at home with the kids. And I had a 6-month-old, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, and 5-year-old.
Oh my gosh, they're all married off now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, okay, so I want to be home with the kids. I want to be there when they come back from school, but I need to start developing my career path, my profession, because eventually they are going to move out of the house and do their own thing, and I don't want to be like clinging, like my life is gone.
Right.
Which is what you see a lot of the times with women. We care about everyone else and not about ourselves. And so obviously my kids have always been my priority in my family, but I always wanted to have one foot in my own professional, personal development.
So you built, did you build or did you redesign a deck?
We actually designed it. So the first project was for our neighbor.
Yeah.
So they would come over for cookouts on the weekends, and he kept saying to me, I really want to build a deck like this one. Can you just do that? And I'm like looking around like at all my toddlers, He goes, come on, he was egging me on. Yeah. You can do it. Right. Just go get your business license and make it happen.
Right.
So that's how we started.
Wow.
So we designed this really large deck, and it seems like a simple project, but the thing is he had no backyard. So we had to literally push the dirt back by like 30 feet.
Oh, wow.
So I'm literally driving down to 7-Eleven. I'm from Spain. So of course I fluent in Spanish. So I'm driving down to 7-Eleven.
Everybody's standing around waiting
with my minivan and just picking up the guys that are there waiting for day labor and giving them a bunch of shovels and let's go. And we started basically pushing
Wow.
the dirt back and built this deck that just came out of the backyard. And we're still friends with them.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it was an
It's a good way to
excellent
start.
project. Yes.
It's a good way to start. So the challenges of being a solopreneur, how did you work through those challenges? I call it hustle to harmony in my practice, right? Where
Yes.
we are in the hustle as a solopreneur, and we need to, if we want to scale, right? We want to go to, how do I get some harmony so I don't have to be in every decision every single day
Right.
that was going on. So you're in this hustle, and I can just visualize you with babies on the hip and, trying to make everything and then trying to be professional at the same time. How did you
Right.
deal with that? And then when was the transition where you said, I can't do this myself?
Right. So, I mean, it's been almost 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that you get comfortable,
Yeah,
it's usually time to get uncomfortable.
that's it.
So number one is you just have to be looking to pivot, looking to evolve, looking to change. You have to be comfortable with change.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, yes, it was a deck and then a couple bathrooms and then a kitchen. Then I'm thinking, well, we got this now. So now I'm going to do a full house. Well, I need somebody to start drawing. So that was our first, actually, my first hire was a housekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought if I'm going to be working this hard, I need someone to keep my house straight.
Yes.
And then a bookkeeper and then a drafter. And so they were working with me from the house because my goal was to be able to stay home so that when the kids come back from school, I'm there.
You're there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just learn to evolve and be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I would say is the number one thing that I'm really good at. I'm okay with constant change.
Yeah.
I actually embrace constant change.
Well, because it would be boring, right?
Exactly.
So let's
I do
talk
get
about.
bored easily.
Yeah, I do too. So
Yes.
what happens when you're a solopreneur and we're doing bathrooms, we're doing kitchens, we're doing decks, we're doing bathrooms. There's a lot of people who just stay in that cycle, right?
Yeah, I think that that's a business model that works for people. And for me, it was not enough. And I hate to say that because there's plenty of businesses that do very well.
And they're comfortable there. And they just want to stay there.
Exactly. And for me, I needed to, I need to have a bigger impact. And so I was looking for ways to have a bigger impact. So that was a good start, but it was not going to be the finish line for me. Yeah. So I was always thinking that I need to be able to, I saw so many flaws with the traditional, cookie cutter floor plans that we spent on hundreds of thousands of dollars fixing.
Yeah.
And so I kept keeping lists and I saw the pattern. Like literally every one of these houses has these top 20 things that are dysfunctional and they're building new ones with the same 20 things 10 years later. And so I was thinking, I need to build some houses so that we can, houses that still need to get renovated, right? So we just get it right. And so that brings me to point number 2 is to be a good listener. Because those 8 years that I did remodels, I listened. I listened to every one of our clients very carefully. And I kept hearing their frustration. Why is the laundry room over here? Why is the mudroom so small? Why don't we have enough closet space? Like, why is this layout, right? And so we made a list. And we said, better start building houses that are not going to have these issues.
Right.
And that's how the next stage of our company evolved to.
And that's how you grow. I mean, and so to give a wine reference, right, you're planting seeds, right? And you're out there pruning and you're looking at what isn't working, where's the dead weight, where's the, thing, something isn't growing here, it's not working here.
Right.
And then by that pruning, it became bigger and bigger and blossomed more. Do you think that there are business owners that don't want to grow? And that's okay, they don't want to grow, but that should be looking at different things that they could be doing, different revenue stream models, different, like what's next in life? If you're just going to repeat, what is next?
Well, I think that looking at different streams of revenue is key. I know for a fact that if we would have stayed as the architecture design firm only, it would have been very limiting because as adding the construction arm to it was very empowering because now we have the turnkey from architecture to construction to delivery. And we can hire the subcontractors and we can be in charge of the whole process. And so that growth is what saved us because when the design, was stalling because people were not making decisions, well, we were building. So that was
Oh yeah, you had something else
right.
to do instead of just that line.
Exactly. And now 3 years ago, we added real estate. So now we can find land because we saw the bottleneck. Clients wanted to build with us, but they didn't have land. And so, yes, we partnered with a lot of agents, but at the end of the day, if you can have it all under one leadership, it just gives the client this huge relief.
I love that. Okay, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I want to find out more about how you grew. What are some of the challenges you had in growth? And what are some of the secrets that you could relate to us? So we'll be right back. Stick with us. We'll come back. Well, welcome back. We are so excited to be here. We are at beautiful Barrel Oak Winery. We want to again say thank you so much to them for having us here. We're enjoying some wine while we're talking about business on the vine. So when we left, I wanted to ask you a question, and that is the challenge of scaling. There's the push pull. There's let's try this. No, that doesn't work. Let's try that. That doesn't work. Right. What are some of the challenges that you had that you could share with others so that they don't have to go through those challenges?
Yes, there's always challenges, and you have to be comfortable with that fact. And I think that for us is figuring out what to focus on because there's always 10 ideas and which one are we going to focus on. So I think that's number one is, put down your 10 ideas for this year. For example, you have a strategy session at the beginning of the year with your leadership team and or yourself.
Right. In the mirror. What do I want to do?
Or simply yourself, because a lot of our strategy meetings was with myself and me with my husband, and we were just discussing it. Obviously, not a lengthy discussion, but should we focus on this? Should we focus on that? Right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, in order to implement, you do have to focus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just constantly just going in circles.
Right. You can't be chasing the 10 things. It's like spinning all the plates, right? So do you have a process of elimination or selection that you go through to iron out those 10 ideas into 10 months and which one comes first, or what has to be worked on simultaneously, but maybe not isn't the forefront focus, but in order for the next thing to happen, you've got to build this? Because I see a lot of people do one thing and have it built, and then they build the next thing, and this one can't move forward without this being built, but they can only do one thing at a time, right? And so there's a gap. There's a big gap in growth.
Right. And the thing is that you really can't do it that way because you're hitting perfection, and we really don't want perfection.
Right. Because then profits go up.
That was actually my first life lesson, is to let go of perfection. I am a perfectionist.
Number one.
And I cling on that. And so you got to just put the product out. It's not perfect, 80%, good enough.
Yeah.
So that was one of my learning lessons. It's it doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about movement. As long as we're moving, it's good. Even if we're going sideways sometimes, or sometimes we're going backwards in order to leap forward, as long as we're moving. And the main thing is to have a big goal, and then whatever you're doing as a secondary, task to support that big goal, is you always have to ask that question: is this helping the big goal?
Yes.
If it's not, then let it go, because we're easily distracted.
Yes.
Right. And because we're not answering to anyone, because we are the CEO, right? We can easily go, well, Francisca, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Even though it may not be a good one. Yeah. So you got to hold yourself accountable. And so I would write down the big goal and the 5-year goal. Where do I want to be? Where do I see myself, this company, in 5 years? And not that it can't change, but at least whatever I'm doing today and over the next 6 months, it's got to support that big goal.
It's pointed to that goal and not deviating from it yet. And that helps you avoid distractions, right? When you know that you're just your eyes here then you're not going to be popping over here right away,
Exactly.
Tell me
Yes.
about your first hire who wasn't your husband. How did that
Yes.
go?
Yes. So our first hire was a bookkeeper.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, and that was because I really don't like bookkeeping, and if you don't understand your books,
Yeah.
and you don't understand your revenue and your liabilities and your profit and loss, if you don't understand that whole part of your business, it's just not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
So I needed someone to help us get that in track.
Yeah, and that happens to a lot of business owners, right?
Yes.
Because they come from corporate. I mean, perhaps you were a mommy, which is good, but you probably had some kind of corporate job in the past, or brought some acronym with you, and said, "Hey, I'm really good at this task, but I don't know anything about business. I'm not good at business. I don't know what a P&L is. What's a balance sheet? What does that mean? Why do you have to
Yes.
balance? I thought if you had profit, you didn't have to balance, right?"
Yeah.
And I remember one of my clients telling me that one time. She's like, "Yeah, I don't understand the whole balance thing because, and I go, oh my gosh, yeah, because she said, I don't want to balance. I always want to have profit." And I said, oh, well, we need to work on that. Right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, understand, what you're good at and focus on what you're good at, because that's where you can really excel, and then hire people to support the parts that you're not so good at.
yes.
And accounting is a big one. Marketing is another one.
Yeah.
If no one knows about you, if people can't find you, if people don't know what you do, what value you add, then
Yeah, you're marketing to no one. It's like
Yes.
it's been like putting together a big, beautiful, retail spot, and turning the sign on. This is open, but then you're just sitting there going, "Where are the people? Where are the
That worked 50 years ago. Today, it's all about social media and about marketing. So, hiring someone to do the books, and then hiring someone to market. Those were our hires, because the skill to design, to draw, to construction manage, that is our skill.
Right.
I know how to do that. So I hired the supporting trades, marketing, accounting.
Yeah. How was your bookkeeper? Is your bookkeeper still with you?
No.
Okay,
no,
so
it's
tell
way
me
back
how
like
that happened.
5.
Okay, so
since
tell
then.
me because this is something that business owners are afraid of is the turning, right? And I hear this a lot from my clients is, oh, they left and I have to start over.
Yes.
Here we go again. Now I got to start over, and I think all the time is you should be a talent scout all the time. Can you imagine a football team and they're saying, hey, we don't have anybody else. If the quarterback gets hit, he's out. I got to start all over.
You're not starting over. You're just continuing where you already started, because obviously you've learned something from that experience.
Hopefully, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're starting at another level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the first person I hired was literally working in my bedroom in a desk next to me, because I didn't trust anyone.
Right.
And so I'm looking over her shoulder, literally at her screen,
Right.
and going, oh my God, is she like doing something, and this was 20 years ago where things were a little different then, but that was our first hire.
Yeah.
And then we had somebody else in our office, also physically there, and now I actually have an accounting remote company. So
right, so the trust is there. It's definitely
right, and I've learned how to check balances and how to check things, and I took myself some QuickBooks classes. I can literally operate QuickBooks. So yes, and I think that's another great point, is that you should have worn all the hats in your business at some point. There absolutely is, and the mantra is living like you're on vacation. Okay. So our philosophy that we apply to our homes, but vacation style living philosophy, I actually apply it to my life. Yeah. And to our family's life. I think that it's very important that you value every day that you are here, that you surround yourself by people that nurture you, and people that add value to you and you can add value back, and that you make a difference. Yeah. I don't think we're here just to work or even be. We're here to make a difference. Yeah. And you do that best when you are around people that believe in you, that support you, and that you can do the same thing in return.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. How does someone get a hold of you if they want to learn more about what you're doing, watch you in your travels? You're always traveling. I love that. And so you're living it, right?
Yes.
But how does someone get a hold of you? What is the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
Sure. So we have a website, adarchitectsbuild.com. So feel free to check out our website, and then you can also call our office at 703-865-5065.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us
Aw.
today. And let's have one last glass of or
Thank-
sip of wine. I probably had a whole glass. Let's have a sip of wine.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for listening in and watching in. We appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next episode.